Tim.
How's it going?
Yeah, good. Thanks for popping in today. It's always good to see you in the lakes and especially in the Epicentre.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in England now.
Great. We wanted just to have a chat about your recent exploits in Canada, because it sounds like the Helmcken project looks really interesting.
It's amazing. Oh, honestly, it is. It's the coolest place I've ever been.
And whereabouts is it exactly again?
Well, it's you can fly into Vancouver and then it's a 6-hour drive east of there. It's in British Columbia and it's just north of a place called Kamloops. So it's the 3rd largest waterfall in North America.
Okay. So it's fairly easy to get to for...
Yeah, it's a very popular tourist destination. Right. It's in Wells Grey Provincial Park.
Great. So yeah, how did you get to hear about that? Was that through your friend Will?
Well, I met Will Garden in the Ice Climbing World Cup a few years ago, and we did a lot of the competitions and became good friends. And I was due to go climbing with him in Canada for a couple of weeks, and we didn't really know where we were going to go until I got an email from him saying, embroiled on my project, check out Helmcken Falls on Google. The actual waterfall never freezes, but have a look at the wall behind, because it's got spray ice on it, and we might be able to climb that.
So he was the first person to think about doing it. No one else had been there before to even consider it?
I don't know anyone else that would have even considered it, to be honest. I mean, the cave's massive. It's about, imagine Malham Cove, double it, and then lean it at 45 degrees and spray it in ice. That's about how big it is. It's huge.
Wow.
As the waterfall hits the bottom, it forms this cone. It's like something out of space, and the water falls into this huge crater, and the spray then gets blasted against the wall and freezes. So if you went there early in the year, you'd just get soaked, so you wouldn't be able to do that. So you've got to wait until sort of January or February time for the cone to get high enough to block the spray from hitting the wall.
Oh, okay.
So as long as it's really cold, as long as it's below freezing and it's later on in the season, then yeah, I think it's always going to be different. Last year when we did the first pitch, it was in every climbing magazine in the world pretty much. So people definitely knew about it, and yeah, absolutely, I was a bit gripped that someone was going to go.
It sounds like it's quite an effort to actually get in there and equip it and do the things you have to do to get it.
It's pretty intimidating actually, and it's very involved just to get into a position where you can start climbing, and then to get to climb up the route, you've got to find the bolts. So you need a metal detector.
Yeah.
If you didn't have a metal detector, you're not going to get anywhere. Yeah.
Now we hear that you were testing some of the new air permeable dry cube from Mountain Hardwear.
Yeah.
Obviously, with that type of workload, how did that perform?
Wow, one of the days it took me 2 hours to walk into the top with like the massive rucksack, 3 ropes, bolts, drills, all sorts of stuff, and it was hot. I was breaking trail with snowshoes on, so it was a lot of work, and I was using that, and interestingly I got to the end of the walk and I took my jacket off to see if there was any moisture on the inside, and it was totally dry. So
that sounds good.
Thumbs up. The thing about climbing on the roof there is that you've got your ice axes up here, which are an extra 50 centimetres above your hands. So if you want to get your feet on, you've got to get them way up above where your hands are. So you need loads of body tension and core strength. Yeah. I was doing a lot of abdominal training exercises to try and get the core developed. And a lot of the climbing, you don't really use your feet. You just do figure fours instead, which is, I don't know, I've never done that on ice before.
I think Scotland this season has been through it's moved on a bit. I think the grades have moved on a bit. If you say there's lots more to do at Helmcken, and it's an exciting prospect to going back there. How do you see that sort of climbing, mixed climbing at that level, ice climbing at that level, filtering down into Scotland? How do you see that affecting kind of hard climbing in Scotland?
Well, the bottom line is that is a massive jug. And if you can hang on a jug forever, then you've got one. All you got to do is you got to keep this in position. And I think ice axe technology has developed so much that it makes climbing much easier. And I think that's the bottom line. Like you get rid of leashes, and you can really hang on for ages. And I don't think you could really do that before. So with Scotland, a lot of the climbing's vertical, but yeah, it takes a lot of time to clean it, and you've got to find your placements. And I think it's much more of a mental and as well as physical journey, whereas I think what we're doing is it's pure strength. I think the potential to climb really hard routes in Scotland is huge. I mean, it's vast. I mean, if you look at a rock climbing guide, pretty much all the routes that are E4 or above are potential projects.
So going back to, we talked earlier about well, your message and a lot of your motivational lectures you do, because I know you do quite a lot of those in all different places like schools and things. And one of the messages, you know, if something's impossible, that's a reason to go and try and, you know, make a change and make things possible. So with that in mind, have you got any more projects that are possibly impossible?
Yeah, getting to the top of the cave.
Right.
I mean, there's nothing else like it that either Will or myself know about. One of Will's friends, EJ, who's a seasoned ice climber from Canmore, he came along this year, and he's the first person, apart from Will and myself, that have actually gone into the cave, and he was totally blown away. He was like, oh my god, this is the most amazing ice climbing in the world. This is like nothing else. It's just rewritten the books of what steep ice or hard ice climbing is. And the really great thing about it is that the ice is, because it's made out of spray, it's much softer than water ice. So it's great for first time placements. It's not great for ice screws at all. They're just, I don't know, they just wouldn't hold, I don't think. But the challenge is to get to the top, and I think once we've done that, the challenge will then be to try and do it in a day. Yeah. Which is going to be epic. There is huge potential to climb spray ice all over the world. Cheers.
Really appreciate it.
Nice to be back in England. Nice one, Steve. Cheers, Mark.